Tonight on Mental Health Matters with Marty, the 12 Days of Christmas Mental Health Edition. Tonight we're going to be discussing kids and Christmas. Stay tuned.
Good news. Plenty good news, yeah, true. Good news. Plenty good news, yeah, true.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Listen, happy Monday to you. My name is Martina Sellers, and I am your mental health hygienist coming to you live and in Kodak, full color from Southern California, where the sun is always shining. But guess what, y'all? We are looking for the Bethlehem Star out here. We know it's been happening all over the world. We are so excited. This has not happened in I don't know how many. It just hasn't happened in a long time. But we are so glad to see you tonight. Let us know that you are what? Getting lit. Stay lit, fam. What's up? Listen, let us know you're out there, that you are listening. We are so glad that you have joined us in this series, the 12 Days of Christmas Mental Health Edition. Now, this show is intended strictly for educational purposes only. We are not a substitute for individual therapy. We are not a substitute for group therapy. We are not a substitute for any type of psychiatric concerns at all. But we are here to give you our best advice and even our best support to you during these difficult times. If you are experiencing any type of psychiatric or medical emergency, please log off the show and go to your nearest hospital or urgent care. If not, welcome back and stay on. Hey, we so glad you are here. Listen, we have had a dynamic time. I'm still recovering from last night's show with the moms. Lord have mercy. If you saw that show last night, my mom was all over the place. Thomas' mom, we praying for her, y'all. And Thomas will share a little bit later. But listen, Miss Penny, we got you. We're praying for you, darling. Hope everyone is having a blessed Monday. What's up? Let us know you are in here. Listen, put it in the chat. Put some names in there. This show only grows by you sharing and liking and sharing it out to others who could definitely use this time to be motivated, some information that is going to help them along their mental health journey. So we need you to be authentic with us, be grassroots with us, type in some names, call some people out, shout out to my family, where y'all at now? Come on, shout out to all of my viewers. What's going on? Let us know you're out there. Let us know you're listening. Let us know where you are from. I see people popping in and out. Come on and pop on in here like some popcorn. Yes, as we string along the tree. So what's up? I want to bring to the stage none other than my co-host, the resident mental health professional, the resident teacher, if you will, over extraordinaire, none other than, hey, Alana, checking in. Josiah and I are, since, wait a minute, Josiah and I, since this one is about kids. That's right. Alana, I should have had you on with that as well. But what's going on? Let's bring out here none other than Thomas Davis, all the way from the DMV.
Hey,
what's up, Thomas?
What's going on? What's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm still in recovery mode, too. I've been hearing people text me all day. Hello, turkey legs. Really? Yes.
You know, I ain't one to gossip, but Mama put it out there, so we had to run with it. But
y'all are running like y'all are running a marathon.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good.
How has it been out there to DMV? Listen, everyone, type in where you're from. Type in, let us know you're out there. We see you, but let us know. Let us feel you. Let's stay connected. This is a part of that reaching out. So how you been today, man?
I've been great. It is a little warm here today. We was around about 52 degrees today. So, it's a chill day.
So all the snow has melted.
Yes, snow has melted. Finally.
Okay.
But we're supposed to get some more on Christmas Eve, allegedly.
Okay.
Let it snow.
We had a chilly day today, about 80 degrees. Woo! because we out here in Cali staying lit, get
But you
lit,
know what,
baby.
though? But guess what? When it snow out there, y'all ain't gonna know what to do.
Listen, we don't. We get a little hailstorm and we get start crashing it. we ain't ready for all that.
Shut
Listen,
it down.
but we would shut it down. A raindrop, be like, oops, we can't
Yep.
go nowhere. But yes, man, we have been, and thank you. This was an amazing concept of yours. 12 Days of Christmas, mental health, because we have been going through so much, not just as individual people, not just as a nation, but the
Right.
world. And
Right.
and Christmas is looking different. Every holiday is looking different. And
Yes.
London. Oh my God! I don't know if you watch anything about the news today. Nobody's
Yes.
letting anyone from London in or out right now.
Right. Because of that new mutation of the new
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But we have been pushing this and really saying, listen, hashtag reach out holiday 2020, because we want people to stay, even though we want you to stay physically distant, we
Yes.
still want the social interaction to occur, because
Yes.
that is the lifeline and how we stay active in that. What do you got to say about that, Thomas?
I just want to just say that it's very important with what you just said. We got to stay
Yes.
active. We have to
Yes.
stay fit. We got to stay cognitive, and we got to be aware. And what you just said was perfect. So I don't even add no more to it. Wow,
Yes.
I'm agreeing with you tonight early.
Of course you agree with me.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Side note, I'm loving.
Hold on, I got. Oh, you love the what?
I was about to say I like your shirt, but Danny said it. So
Yes, thank you, Danny. Thank you
Yeah.
for beating Thomas to the punch. He saw me in the back studio and said nothing about my wonderful shirt, but I like your hat too. God
but
bless
you know
your
what,
hat
though?
ministry.
Martin, we can't give you but so much kudos because you know how the hair of yours is growing each day. But look,
Watch it,
we got some people on my other page, and I want to give them a quick shout out.
please.
Tia Simmons says, "Yay, DMV is represented." Thank you, Tia. Justin
Yes.
Leach says, "What's going on, brothers?"
What's going on, Justin?
Thank you so much for streaming with us tonight. We are ready, yo. It's Monday. We're excited. We are ready to have some great fun.
That's right. We lit over here. Yes, in always more ways than one. We lit. And I even had no eggnog. Hey, I
Right.
can't take it. Lactose intolerant. That'd be a terrible thing. TMI. See,
you,
he even
Daddy.
said, whatever. He like your hair. He's just trying to make you feel good. That's all right. We reaching out holiday 2020. Whatever it
But you
takes.
know what, though? Since you signed it, Dana don't have to be on the screen to reach out to me because we talk off screen. Fix your
Anyway.
face. Fix your face.
My face is always fixed. Cheryl Matthews, how are you? Thank you for loving the shirt. Hope you are doing well out there in the big O, Ohio. Yes, Chris Davis, what's going on? Yes, let
Hey,
us know
what's
you
up?
are out there. Yes. Let us know what's happening. How is your Christmas? Talk to us about, because we're talking about children today.
Right.
How children are affected, and a lot of times we think just our own kids. But I want to expand the net tonight, if we could,
Right.
on this topic tonight, Thomas. I don't want us to forget about children who are in group homes. I don't want us to forget about children who are in juvenile hall. I
Right.
don't want us to forget about children who are in foster care.
Right,
And
right.
I wish I could say that every placement was a secure placement in that.
Right.
But, we don't want to take for granted we need to love on the family that we have. We need to
Right.
love on our children right now. This is a
Right.
difficult time.
It is. It is. It's a difficult time for everyone. As we learned last night, they passed a bill for $600, and a lot of people are upset about that. And
Right.
and even in that, people are struggling. This is a very difficult time for parents to
Right.
provide shelter, to provide food,
Yes.
to provide whatever it is that they need, medication. 'Cause
Right.
They got to still, be able to live and survive. So I
Right.
understand it, but our young people sometimes don't get it. And there are going to be a lot of people that wake up on Christmas morning not having what they typically would have, but it's because of
Right.
other things that they have to do.
Right. You're
And so
absolutely right.
I think that it's very important that we where those that are parents have those conversations and say, "Hey, son,
Yes.
hey, daughter, I love you, but this year may
Right.
look a little bit different because we have to make sure that we have food and stuff in the home. So
Yes.
yeah.
Hey, Jerron, good to see you, man.
What up, brother?
But you're absolutely right. Oftentimes, here's what I think happens, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you work with kids all day.
Yes.
You work with
Yes.
teachers. You see
Yes.
this on a continual basis. And our group that's coming on tonight, they're equally as enthusiastic and
Right.
working with a lot of times some disadvantaged young people that we definitely see and work with on a continual basis. Why do you think we don't give kids and our kids enough credit for understanding difficult situations and giving them permission to say, hey, talk to us, mom and dad? Because a lot of times if we simply do this, talk to them, age appropriate conversations, more than
Right.
likely their feelings might get hurt, but they understand. They
Right.
get that their lives have been different for a whole year now.
Right.
They even started this whole school year differently. They
Right.
ended one school year one way and started a whole nother school year a different
Right.
way. So if anything, they understand, but we
Yeah.
are afraid to even have conversation. Why do you think that is the case?
I think what you just said, it starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with our upbringing. There are some of us that was raised, what I say go as a parent. Don't ask me
Right.
why we're doing this. Just do as I say. And
Right.
and in some cases, it's pride.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want you to think that dad or mom cannot provide. So,
Right.
we try to find that, a little happy medium, but in reality, we don't give our youth and young adults enough credit that they are
Right.
aware because they're living in the house. And just think about this. In 2020, a lot of our students had to do what? Stay at home with their parents.
Right.
So they are seeing a lot. They are making a lot of connections that did not make sense before.
Yes.
And hold on. I like this comment. Parents don't always know how to or think that they are protecting them. And that's a great point. And it goes back
Yes.
to what I was just saying. Sometimes we think about it a little bit too much. And sometimes we need to take what we are going through as parents and teach that, make that a teachable moment.
Mhm.
So you are teaching your kids how to be graceful, how to be accepting with what we have in front of us.
You're absolutely right with that. And let's get these comments that Danny had said as well. One thing he says, we think that they are, meaning children, are too fragile. You're
Agreed.
absolutely right. And then
Agreed.
kids have the ability to transition better than adults. We're hearing, because Danny is also in the school system. Toby Long is an amazing, can I say amazing parenting coach. She was out here in California and she had the nerve to relocate. I wanted to hire her over here with my agency once I got up and running and with that. But she is an amazing parenting coach, has been with part of the First Five initiative out here in California, that we really concentrate on 0 to 5 year old parenting. And she is just absolutely, Toby, she's absolutely amazing.
Right.
She knows how to equip parents and help them through a lot of prolonged situation. And that is so key with
Right.
that, because going back to Danny's comment, our kids aren't as fragile as we think they are, and they have the ability to be more flexible and bend and accept things. A lot of times they just want you to say, okay, that's fine, and they move on. And we're the ones who do that. Says, and Danny comes and says, as a therapist and educator, we keep kids insulated from life. Talk to them. Absolutely 100% true with that. I agree with you, Danny.
Right. And there's a comment on my other page from Miss Simmons, and she says, conversations are key to cultivating children. We have to learn how to talk. We got to learn how to let our kids talk. We have to learn to accept when a kid says, why? Why, mom? Why, dad? That's not always a sign of disrespect. Allow your child to have their voice and be heard, because that's how they grow. That's how you groom them. So when they get older, they know how to express themselves.
Yeah, like Alana just said, that children are resilient.
They are.
They're very resilient in that. So listen, you and I can chop it up all day and all night long. So with that, listen, bring on our first guest that you have with us tonight. He's no stranger to the show.
No, he's no stranger to the show. This young man is a great brother. He has been an educator. He is a therapist, by the way, and he is a brother that reaches out to the kids. He goes beyond the school walls. And that's another thing that we have to understand as educators, self-included. We got
Yes.
to understand education is not inside of the school. It is
Right.
outside of the building. You got to
Right.
go into those communities. You got
That's
to go
right.
into those homes and see who
Especially
is
today.
connected. Right.
Yes.
Who is
Yes.
connected with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so this young man does that. He works in a Title I school. He's dynamic. He's a listener. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that we as parents have to do.
Yes.
Listen more and talk less because you
Yes.
learn something from our kids. And so
Right.
this young man is great. He is dynamic. He is a nurturer. And most of all, he believes in holding our students accountable and teaching them that they can reach their goal. And he
Yes.
do not settle for less. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Dwayne Edwards.
Come on, Dwayne. What's happening, sir?
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey,
Listen,
good
what's
brother.
with the memo with these Santa hats?
Look, all I know is somebody just said, "Do you have one?" I said, "Sure." Let me just see if I can get it out.
There you go. We wish you a
Listen.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. Yes. How you doing?
No complaints, no complaints. Everything's good over here in the DMV.
That's right. That's right. I
East
love
Coast,
the comments.
East Coast.
Listen, I'm bringing my West Coast family. Listen, another teacher here says, yes, build the relationships with the families. That's another one who goes above and beyond. Elizabeth Ann Reeder, who's out in the L.A. area, who's an educator, does kindergarten or first grade, I would think kindergarten, and she builds the relationship with the students. She builds a relationship with the families, going
Right.
above and beyond. If she got to do home visits, even during this COVID time. So
Right.
Tell us first and foremost, remind the people what you do and why this topic today about talking about the heart of a child and the heart of a child during Christmas, especially as we're having a different type of Christmas today. How does that speak to you?
Well, currently in my role, I'm an assistant principal. But for years, like Thomas says, I am a therapist. I call myself a therapist in hiding.
Come out of hiding.
But I spent years as a school counselor. But the one thing I noticed is that our children, social interactions help our children learn.
Yes, they do. Yes,
And
they
we're
do.
seeing that has really taken a toll on their academic progress.
Yes.
Not having that socialization has caused a lot of attendance problems, more attendance problems that we've seen. You mentioned before, reaching out to the families and developing those relationships are important. I make sure that I call students and their families just to see how they're doing. Hey, let you know that I still care about you. Hey, if you want to come by the school when you pick up lunches, because my school is a food distribution site, I'll call and say, hey, I'll pass out lunches. I don't mind that, just so they can see us for some sense of consistency that we're still there.
Right, right.
Because they don't see us on the screen, especially the administrators.
Right.
We used to pop in their classrooms, but they used to seeing us every day, greeting them when they come in.
Right.
Right.
Those things that I'm really concerned about, because our kids want socialization, especially at this holiday time. They're used to having the holiday celebrations with their friends.
Right.
And they're the younger ones, their brothers and sisters who were just about to go to kindergarten or pre-kindergarten. I work in an elementary school.
Yes.
They really don't have the concept of developing friendships.
Right.
And that's something that they're missing out, because they see, oh my goodness, my brother has friends, my sister has friends. I don't have friends because I haven't gone to school. So I worry about their social skills. That's something that is really that's really plagued me and just really made me think that the socialization factor for them during COVID has really put a damper on their development.
Yes. Yes. Love this
Ms. Simmons gave you a shout out, Mr.
Yes,
Elwood.
she did.
Thank you for what
And
you
thank
do.
Ms. Simmons, for what you do. You always
So who is Miss Simmons? Because y'all know Miss Simmons.
Yes.
Ms.
Ms.
Simmons
Simmons is my neighbor.
is Thomas's neighbor, but Ms. Simmons works for my county.
Okay.
And she works in our technology department. And let me just say, my hat's off to her and her team, because we keep them busy. So thank you.
Salute to you and Merry Christmas. Listen, I want to bring up our next guest up here as well. Listen, he is none other than the Way of Jay. Listen, this young man is so dynamic. You are going to be hearing some great things about this young man. John Daniel, no S at the end, John Daniel. He's a brand new father. He's amazing. You're going to hear some great things out of him. He has turned what others might call a mental health diagnosis. You know how we like to label everyone. You got ADHD. You got this. You got that. Well, he's turned everything that he's done into a superpower. And when I say he is Superman, I'm living in his shadows. He's given me so much energy and life, and I'm so excited to welcome him to the Marcel family here with Marcel Consulting and Mental Health Services. We are so excited, but I want to introduce on the show for the first time, but definitely not the last, Mr. Stay Lit Fam himself, John Daniel. What's up, John?
Yo, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you woke up today with a good mood, great attitude, and positivity on your mind. Yo, check this out. Today, we're going to be talking about the kids, Christmas, COVID, how they are affected by it. We're going to get into some really nice topics. And yo, we're winging this. So we're going to be doing this as we go, but I hope you get educated and understand everything that we will be saying. But yo, give us some advice too, because maybe we can learn something from you. So that way we all can stay lit, fam, and go get it.
All right.
Don't you love it?
That's how you open it up a show, man.
That's how you open it up. Stay lit, fam.
Yo, John, I need you to write our opening script. So we start doing that.
It'll cost you. You can't be taking my talent here. Can't be taking my talent.
I said us. I didn't say me. I said us.
I'm just clowning with you. You know I got to give you a bad time. You wouldn't have it anyway. John, congratulations on the baby. How is the baby?
Yo, so 3 months. Wait, no, 4 months old now, man.
Congratulations.
He's growing up. He's growing up too quick. I need him to slow it down. Slow it down.
Look, are you getting any sleep?
I get enough sleep.
Okay.
ADHD, I can get 4 hours and I'm still good to go. So, it's just awesome. I don't even care when he cries. I'm like, I'm hearing him cry. And I'm like, I'm blessed to be able to hear that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So every part of this journey is going to be an experience that I gotta go through. It is what it is. I wanted this. I planned this. I'm ready for this.
Yes.
So it's an awesome journey, and like I said, I want him to slow down a little bit so I can really just be able to take it all in. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now the thing is he better not get taller than me.
John, for those who are our listening audience who can't see and know exactly how tall you are, how tall are you, John?
6'6". Might be the tallest therapist you ever have.
Right. Tia says congratulations on your new gift. That's absolutely amazing. Listen, I want to get a comment real quick from that Toby had put on here, and then we're going to get back to you, John. Toby says this: first time I have worked in a school, and I love it. Teaching social skills and assisting teachers with behaviors and accommodations in the classroom. Kids are looking for people they feel care. They know. Toby, that is such a rich statement. John, I want to have you to address that first. Do you agree with Toby's statement there? And why do kids know? Because you've worked with that TAY, transitional age population. So talk to us about some of that and what you do, John.
So, I'm going to go ahead and just dive into what you guys said, with the foster care, especially with the foster youth, because that's my background there, right. Foster. Kids looking for people they feel care. That's just something that comes natural for a child.
Yeah.
I know my son looks up to me.
Yes, he does.
He's looking for me to be that person to take care of him. Mm-hmm. He's looking towards his mom to be that person to take care of him.
Right.
A lot of times we sometimes feel like sheltering our children is a way to show them that we care, but we could over shelter at times. Okay. So, social situations, I want my child, when he does get to that point where he's going to become social, to be social and learn from the different things that, come with the social interaction. Of course, I'm going to do my part with teaching him this is right, this is wrong. Mm-hmm. But there's also going to be times where he's going to do something and he's going to feel that it was wrong. And, I want to be able to support him and process that with him. So you got to be patient, take time. Children are going to make so many mistakes, and you have to remember,
we did.
Exactly. And a lot of times the parent forgets, I was once a child too.
Yes, right. Yes.
And I was once one who, engaged in certain behavior that wasn't, the best.
Right. Right.
But I learned from it, and like
We all have.
I know right now. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, if you're my kid, well, I'm gonna have to go through it with you, man.
Right.
And
Right.
I can't wait to just be like, you know what, that sounds about right. I would have done something
Right.
like that when I was your
Right.
age, but let me tell you why that's not okay. I'm
Right.
not gonna
Right.
come. I don't want to create anxiety
Right.
for my own child,
Right.
and these are just things I'm learning with all the reading that I do for school. It's just I don't want to create anxiety about certain things, especially when my child is like, I didn't even know this was okay or not okay.
Right.
It's got to be teaching. We got to guide, continue to teach and guide, no matter how old the child gets. Like I am now 29 years old, and I still got a lot to learn from a lot of people, and I want people to understand that I am still here to learn. And I would like people to continue to guide me, especially my
Right.
mom. She got so much experience, life experience. I'm still trying to learn from her. I'm like, yo, put me
That's
on.
That's good. That's good.
I'm trying to figure things out. She was always
Dwayne.
like, get on top of making sure you spend your money the right way. And I'm like, Mo, I just can't,
Dwayne
But
Thomas,
now,
don't you love his energy?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I
But
like
what-
the fact that he said he still learned from his mother.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we as young adults feel that once we get to a certain age, that what our parents are saying to us, they don't know what they're talking about. So I'm glad that you publicly stated at the age of 29, you are still learning things from your mom.
But let me just put this. I'm not stealing, but those of you who have not checked out my podcast where I did an exclusive interview with John, please go back and check that out. John just give us so we can pull full context. As I love that you learn from me and I learn from you approach. That's exactly right. See, you guys don't know the backdrop and the backstory, which makes this more powerful. I'm trying to stay in my seat because if I was at church, I'd be running y'all because he only let me in this much of his story. And why is foster care and that transitional age youth such a vital role and really burns about being your life passion?
so okay, so just I gotta get through it briefly, right? Just a
snippet.
I come from the foster care youth. Now, my coming into foster care wasn't like wasn't the greatest experience ever. A lot of people would say that if I were to have turned out to be someone who was very violent and aggressive, it would make sense because of my background. I was put into the foster care system at the age of 3. I've been through almost every single type of abuse that you can name, but I continue to keep a positive head on my shoulders, especially when I did finally get to a family that showed me love. And for a while I wasn't used to it, so I wasn't really accepting of it. But then I got to the point where I was like, hey, life is giving me an opportunity here. Now, am I going to treat it how it should be, or am I going to waste it?
Right.
I went ahead and chose to take the opportunity, especially because my father that raised me took everything in his power to put me in a position where I could be successful. Of course, there were times where obstacles came and I got off track, but the Lord always grabbed me back in.
Come on.
And through the obstacles I went through, I learned a lot. So I'm 29 now, but I've had so much experience through making a lot of mistakes that I'm able to now enlighten so many more youth under me. So that's why I really love the transitional age of youth, because first of all, when you're working with children, you're molding.
Yes.
And this is the perfect time to mold. So every time people will be like, oh, do you want to work with children? I'm like, of course, this is the time to mold. And if I could be a positive role model for them, they're going to always be like, I want to be like him.
Yes.
So that's why I love working with children. I love working with young adults. They could be 22 and I'll tell them right now, hey, you think you know everything. And I thought I did too when I was 22. But let me tell you right now, you're going to be going through stages and levels of life, and you're going to continue to learn more and more and more. And if you do not allow yourself to learn more, then you will see yourself continue to make the same mistakes that you have already made.
Go ahead.
Marty, hold on, Marty. Sir, let me tell you right now, if no one has ever told you this, and I'm very serious when I tell you this, I applaud you at the age of 29 for being transparent with where you have come, and you did not allow that to hinder you to keep you for where you are now. Brother, I applaud you, because many of us at the age of 40, 50, 30, 39 are not where you are. Because we're still holding on to that message that we are carrying, Danny Ross. The fact that you just unleashed that publicly, unapologetically, and you said that this don't even matter. This is where I am today. That's right there. I almost cussed. Thank you, brother, for sharing that.
Well,
Thank you.
and I just had to piggyback. Thomas.
Come on,
It's
Dwayne.
like this. It's certain things that transparency is what help kids gravitate towards
Yes.
you.
Freedom.
The
I
truth.
found out in my career, and it took me, I want to say my first 10 years in my career to realize that I needed to show the children that I was human. I needed to show them that they can identify and they can relate some way to me, not at age, but they know that I'll tell them I'm sorry if I do something wrong. I also won't yell at them. I don't yell at anyone else's child. I talk to them. I'm stern in my tone. But the same tone you hear right now is the way I talk to other people's children. But we have conversations, and you might have done something that was really not great, but we're going to talk about it. And as we talk about it and we go over it, we're going to point out, tell me, was that right? Did you think about that? Did you think about it? And so I think children really love the fact that you want to hear their opinions. You are human too.
Right.
You are accepting that you're not going to yell at me or fuss at me. No, I'm going to help you. My job is to embrace you and mold you and teach you from that mistake that you made. Because I always say mistakes are for the young and the old, but you should learn something from them. And I want them to learn something from them. And brother, I'm in my 40s, and it took me almost to 40 to understand and embrace some things that you have at 29. So
Right. And the other thing I just want to say, and I'm going to go to Elizabeth's comment, and then I'm going to introduce our last guest for tonight as well that's coming on with us. You know, John hasn't shared that by the time you were 5, he had been to how many different homes?
12. Yeah.
That's all you got to say. See, in the midst of adversity, that's why I got to keep this young man around me, because every time I think that I want to give up, I just do this, or I see his name in my phone, I'm like, nope. Love it.
Marty, you know what I get to move it around is something in me that I got to say. To my educators real quick, and then we can bring on the other guests. To my educators real quick. When you are working on an individualized educational plan, that IEP, these are examples of accommodations that you should be documenting in an IEP.
Correct.
Along with the extended times, extended breaks, all that great stuff. But you also got to know that student. So when that student is coming into your classroom from being in a different foster home, and you see him walk into your building upset, you already know as an accommodation, I need to listen some or provide him with the space to run it out. It is okay to add those accommodations in our IEPs, because sometimes we want to make the IEP look so good legally that we miss the mark about how to reach that child. So I love this question. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you, Marty.
John,
Thank
you got folks talking about I need to know you and all this. So you got teachers.
I mean, it's really that, Thomas, because I have a student currently, and last year we had a problem with them, and they wanted to give him an IEP. And I'm like, how are you going to give that student an IEP when he has not had consistency and structure?
Right.
I said, if you gave him consistency and structure, you will see something different. The pandemic hit. So, folks was gunning after me, but I'm kind of glad the pandemic hit. So we did another meeting on him recently. And what I say, consistency and structure helped that young man.
Yes.
He found a foster family that really support him. And and I'm not giving him no IEP for that.
Right. I want to bring on our next guest. She is a therapist that works with Marcel Consulting and Mental Health Services. We're so excited to bring on my staff with us and everything. Listen, she's my homegirl. We were in class together. We almost had to turn up some tables a few times, but we didn't. But she also works for LA County in the legal defense area with work with children and family services as well. So she also has a clear glimpse of what a lot of our children go through, and that are so misrepresented, unappreciated, not understood. But I'm so glad to have with her. She's like a sister from another mister. So glad to have her. None other than Cynthia Miller Woods. Hey, Cynthia. How are you? I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Nope. Testing 1, 2, 3. We're going to get it. Yes. But Cynthia is thebomb.com. So we're going to get you. Yes. Where's Michael to do the sound check for you? Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, we're going to get you back in here. When you get it, just bust in with that.
All right. So, Marty, if I may jump in real quick, just ask
Yes.
John a question. When you was younger and when you were in elementary, middle school, what was something that was important to you during this holiday season?
That's good.
And the holiday season for me was actually ruined at a very young age. So I'll tell you right now, I'm working on being better at Christmas. It has always been tough for me. I have always come into this with like the PTSD, the anxiety about it, the not really wanting to do it so much, just because again it was ruined for me.
Right.
I was lucky to have the agency that I was a part of really take care of me and getting me gifts.
Okay.
But I think now that like having a son, it's make like holidays are more fun for me because it's just the whole experience. But if I have to say, what am I excited about? I guess as years have gone on and on, the holidays started to show me that I can be loved and I am loved. And that's one thing that I have been able to take from the holidays.
Okay.
Although I've had, like I said, the PTSD and like the not really wanting to be in, like a part of it.
Right.
As I got further and further along with it, I started to see more genuine love out of it versus like I'm getting a gift because it's just the holidays. No, I'm getting a gift because like I'm actually loved, I'm actually cared for.
Right.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to really like register that, you know. And what really registered for me was the Christmas after losing my father my freshman year. So you think I'm 15 years old, and my mom still goes all out on the gifts.
Right.
And, you know, I'm smart enough to know, I'm like, okay, this is one income now, and you still went this hard on this. And I was like, wow, like, you know, at that point, I was like, I really got to step it up here in this area. Just because, again, I'm not allowing myself to really fully embrace it because of just everything that has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's not like I'm sitting here saying I'm a Grinch and I don't like Christmas. It's just I had all these feelings that I hadn't processed yet, and this is what's going on. This is what I'm going through. So
yes. Excellent. Cynthia, are you with us now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Hey, welcome. Hey.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How's everybody?
We're doing all right out here.
Good.
We were bragging, you know, we got 3 West Coast folk. You know, it was a chilly 80 degrees today.
Oh, it was really warm. It's perfect today.
Yes, Cynthia, welcome to the show for the first time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Definitely. Let's share with the people what you do and your passion for youth, especially underserved children throughout Los Angeles, Southern California.
Okay, so I have been working with low-income families and foster youth for, I guess, maybe 20, 25 years. I guess this is where the universe wants me. I went into therapy. Now I'm working with the parents of the foster kids. So I've been, my early career, I worked with not foster youth, some foster youth in Head Start, but it was primarily low-income families. So seeing how the families struggle around the holidays and to give their kids stuff. You know, parents that don't have a lot want to give their kids more. So, and we're currently working with foster care youth, especially our teenagers. I work mostly now with our sexually exploited children. So a lot of my youth are teenagers, 18, 17, 18, 19. They're aging out of the foster care system, but they have also been trafficked, and exploited. So it's very difficult around this time and during this pandemic to get them to be safe, sit still, even be aware of their own safety, not even in regards to the safety of others. So this pandemic has been very challenging mentally for the youth. So it's been a journey. This 2020 has been a journey, just trying to keep the kids as safe as possible.
Yeah.
And outside of the foster care children, I have my own 15-year-old daughter that I have to try to keep emotionally stable.
Right.
When the pandemic hit, at first, she's very self-functioning. She's very self-reliant. So she's very self-structured. So I was thinking, oh, she's at this, right? Maybe about a month or two in, I was realizing that, no, she doesn't. Not being around her friends, not having a daily routine, trying to still manage herself and stay on top of her grades, trying to be optimistic about track coming back and, and going towards her lifelong goals is very, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, we're scared about the pandemic, so we want to hunker them down and we don't want them out. But I had to understand that it was important for her to have some type of outlet at some time. Being that I work both sides, I'm trying to raise a healthy, independent female. Plus, I have these females that I know are so easily influenced by their peers.
Come on and talk to us.
Because they don't have that parental figure that is there to help them process their feelings and talk about it. And it's okay to say this pandemic thing sucks. And and on top of the pandemic, we have the movement, and just overall safety. So not only have I been exposed to my daughter becoming woke, which she probably already was woke, I've watched her take on a lot of extra anxieties when she does go out. When we do go out, she's very fearful about the surroundings. Are we gonna, don't drive too fast if the police stop us? Are we gonna get killed? So it's so many anxiety building on top of anxiety building that we as adults have to process, and
struggle
we can't
in processing.
Process them.
Thank you.
I can't process them a lot of times.
So, and Cynthia, go ahead.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, like, you hit some golden nuggets.
A lot of them. Yes.
You talked about the emotional stability, and you working in a school, and you were seeing a lot of behaviors and a lot of anxieties. So, can either one of you? Well, I'm gonna start with you. As we got closer to the Christmas break, we know that our kids become anxious because school is our safe haven. Number one. Believe it or not, the kids love coming to school, even when they're acting up, because they know it's a safe space for them. So I'm thinking about our students that has had to learn virtually at home in those unsafe spaces. I'm thinking about kids who typically during this time before they go on break, our teachers, our principals are doing winter celebrations, grab bags, giving them gift bags before they go home. Are there things that we could do now for our students in the virtual land process?
And even before you get there, let me do this. Thomas, let's go back because Toby's comment she has fits right in line, and then we're going to have with that. So Toby says it this way. Says, we had a student who went home to bio-parent but stayed at the same school. However, he would just lay on the floor and not do anything, and the teachers were concerned and wanted to know how to get him to do his work. He told the teachers, quote, "You don't know what I've been through."
Wow.
End of quote. He is only 6. My heart breaks right there.
Yes.
I told the teacher, he is telling you what he needs. Time to adjust. And
Good
that's
job.
exactly what Cynthia was saying. And this second comment by Toby. Toby, you're on a roll, my darling. Says, yes, my daughter has anxiety and would leave the house for a choir. But with COVID, that ended and it affected her even more. So difficult. So going back to what you were saying, Cynthia, and now if you could address those things that even Thomas talked about in this question and Toby as well.
Absolutely. So for educators, my advice would be present for these students.
Yes.
Reach out to your students individually. If you have to send them a Christmas card, just let them know that they matter.
Yes.
It's important for kids to understand, because you're right. And Toby's right. These kids now, domestic violence has escalated.
And it's still quiet.
And abuse. Since the pandemic has happened, we're seeing more and more children being removed from their parents because the parents can't handle the responsibility of taking care of their kids. And I had my 5-year-old godson over one time to help him with school. And for the whole 2 hours and 15 minutes he was online, it was a struggle for me to help keep him focused.
Right.
So it's just, and I get that they need their education, but it's unrealistic for us to believe that a 6-year-old who just got returned home to his mom, who has to readjust because they've been apart. Mom's got to readjust because she's been apart. And now you're home full time, no outlet, homeschooling your kid, and he's resistant because he's still angry from being removed from the mom in the first place. So it's like you do the best you can. You know, I think that with the kids overall, especially our children who are in special needs children, what they have to have the biggest adjustment for school. I think this pandemic has just made all educators we don't know what to do. We just don't know what to do. We don't know how to help them because we're really struggling how to help ourselves. So on the mental health side, I would suggest be present, be understanding. If they're frustrated, let them take a break. You know, if the teacher is upset, you know, I'm sorry, teach. My child's mental health and emotional stability is a little bit more important than doing these little sight words right now. So we're going to have to catch it up. You know, can I do some extra homework with him? Try to make it an enjoyable experience for them, you know.
And Dwayne, what are you seeing? And I see you. Go right ahead. You've been so patient.
No. It's been, Cynthia's made some very valid points. It's different for our children because a lot of our children are living where they're the adult. At least when they come to the school, they have 6 hours where they can be a child. They don't have no responsibilities. They have a safe haven. But with this virtual learning, we are seeing now that that's hard for them. And more stress is coming onto them. And we want to try to, and I have to have a lot of conversations with my teachers about understand that you're not going to get the same results that you would get in brick and mortar. We have to make sure that we're understanding that the kids don't have that outlet of coming in and getting away from their trouble. So what, they're not on the camera? Are they listening to you? Are they turning in their assignments? Are they asking you for your assignments? Are they participating? They don't want to see. They don't want you to see that they're probably all living in one home. They don't want you to see that. One girl turned her camera on, and I felt bad for her because the teacher pressured her. And I had a conversation. The girl had a chicken in her room. And I'm like, that was embarrassing to that child. Why would you do that and pressure her to do that? I said, we have to understand that they're delicate. As much as they act hard when some of our kids in our more inner city schools, they act hard. They're soft. They are soft. And I learned that because they all come to me. and they know they can come to Mr. Edwards' office. You can act all simple, but you're going to turn it down when you come in there, and we're going to have a civilized conversation. But we just have to realize that they don't have that outlet to just be children right now. And that's why we wanted to get to something. Come on a Wednesday. We started instituting these family nights. Come and get a snack so you can at least see us. And then later that night, you can get on Zoom and we'll show you a movie. Later that night, we're going to show you, we're going to have a theater night. And they're so happy that they want to see that. Because we got to give them something to say, hey, I'm back in the school, because they don't have that 6 hours just to be a kid.
That's good. We have so many great comments, Thomas. I know, which is great. This is a great problem. So Thomas, let's see what Tia Simmons. Yes, go right ahead.
Tia says, yes, the best present you can be for your children is to be present. This is the biggest lesson I learned during the pandemic. My daughter is very self-sufficient, but being at home with her during the pandemic has taught me how to not rely on others to know and understand her, but to be more present in her everyday activities, to
Yes.
understand and know her more. Lessons learned, presence parent, hashtag reach out 2020. That is
That's
so
Can I,
true.
right.
can I just say something real quick?
Please, please.
One thing I've noticed about that's happened since the pandemic occurred is that we always, as educators, talk about the disconnect between the parents and the school. The pandemic kind of put a spotlight on it. But when you really think about it, a lot of the parents' own educational deficits have come out because they can't give that support that the children really need. And I
Wow.
think that we really need to understand that sometimes we need to meet the parents where they are.
Yeah.
That's where you build those relationships with the parents.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sometimes you can't be accusatory of why the child is not doing this. Why don't you help?
That's good.
Can you help them?
Yes.
So I think that's where we build that community of trust, and that's
Wow.
where we are able to. Parents will be willing to work with us more when we really show that care. That I understand that this might not be your thing. I'm going to help you see you through it because they're
That's
getting
good.
as well.
That's real good. Let's go to our next comment, Daryl, so we can go in here. And so our next comment says, we got lots of, we want to get as
Oh,
many.
that's right.
Miss Rhonda says, as a senior citizen, I see an area where we could be a pen pal with kids just by sending them notes, letting them know someone is thinking of them. Beautiful, Rhonda. I agree. I think that should be something that maybe in your local school district or what have you. There's enough teachers on here that we would love to have. We need some pen pals. That's great. What's our next comment here? It says, Alana says that this, my son has ADHD and he went through so much with the school last year and acted out even more because he was not understood. He was just dismissed. I advocated so hard for him, of course, and now he has a teacher that gets him, and he has made a complete, I love that capitalized, complete turnaround.
I love
How-
that.
Right. How our children are responded to matters. Hear them, see them, empower them.
Wow.
With that, and John, I'm going to have you address the superpower of ADHD. Yes, and Elizabeth says this way: I had someone donate $100 to me to buy Christmas presents for my students. I added money. See, again, another powerful teacher doing that, doing above and beyond.
Yes.
I added money, her personal money, to it, and loaded up their stockings. Unfortunately, I did not do my usual drive-by because of 3 families are COVID positive, and I had them pick them up from school. But still, Elizabeth, you did exactly what you more above and beyond. Even though you could not do the original thing because you had to protect yourself as well,
Right.
because of some pre-existing conditions. The fact that you went above and beyond definitely made all the difference with that. So awesome. John, we got one more. Do we have one more in there? Okay. Says Elizabeth Reader says, I tell my students to just show me face quickly, then you can turn off your camera. Some students don't live in the neatest places, and they don't want to be exposed. You're absolutely right. So I love that you're being sensitive to that. Pam, I love all these comments. These are great
Yes.
tonight, John. Keep them coming. Keep them going. My grandsons were at home for a while, but it just wasn't working. My 7-year-old was playing his game and leaving his chair and everything, just acting up because they couldn't focus. So they are both back at school, which scares me. They are only 10 and 7, and kids will still be kids. And even with that, taking the necessary precautions that you need to make sure, and then having the conversations with them, having the conversations. Let's play this game. We're wearing our mask at school. Let's play the game. We are sanitizing our hands. If you just have that conversation. My 4-year-old, soon to be 5, help me, Cynthia. She's going to be 5 on New Year's Eve. Can't get turned out, but we're going to stay lit, but stay lit in a different way.
Gotta stay lit for her because she don't she don't play no games and she don't take no punches. So
No, she doesn't.
Right.
John, can you talk to us? Because, those parents and those kids who are not heard because they are misdiagnosed and over medicated, especially our black and brown boys, because we don't want to deal with their creativity. ADHD is not a curse, and we have to change our mindset about that. It's not. I'm gonna let you talk to that, John. Go ahead. Stay lit, fam.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot right now, and I have so much. I just want to just kind of expand you guys' mind on real
Please.
quick. Let me get to this ADHD thing real quick, okay?
Yes.
I came up thinking that my energy was bad. Okay, now if a parent really took the time to learn something about ADHD, keep me stimulated, I will be absolutely fine. My dad got wise. He was like, here's a puzzle, 200, knocked it out. He said, okay, did that pretty fast. Here's 1,000 pieces now. I was stuck at that table for 5 hours, but hey, now this is about 5 hours where I'm zoned into something I really want to do. I had this issue with completing things, and that was also through therapy. It was like, they started realizing that I liked to complete. So you'll have those children who have an issue with not completing something, and they have to complete it. And if they don't complete it, they'll act out. Even with this thought that they have, like if they really go to the store and they're in their head, they're saying, okay, I want to go to the toy aisle and I want to find this toy. If you take them away from doing that, you think they're acting out because they didn't get to go see toys. No, they had a thought they didn't get to complete, so now they're acting out.
Come on, say that again.
Talk about it, John.
If you do not allow a child who has ADHD that likes to complete something, they will act out. And you will think they're acting out because they're just acting out, when no, they can't explain to you that they want to complete something. It's just urge to complete. Okay.
Now, I'm 2 weeks younger than Jesus, and if you don't let me complete my thought, I'm gonna act out too. So come on, go ahead, John.
So my dad also tested this. He took 2 pieces of the puzzle away. I finished this puzzle. I'm like, this is, I was like, Dad, the piece is missing. Like, why would they give me a puzzle that has missing pieces? I need these pieces. It's not done if I don't finish it. He started to see, whoa, here's these pieces. And I was like, okay, after I'm done, I'm done. If I get bored, it's the impulse control that we do not have. Okay, but our curiosity will make us run rampant. Okay, so if I'm curious about anything, I'm going to complete the task so that way I can not be curious about it anymore. And a lot of times this looks like actions that you're thinking like, come on, this is common sense, don't do this. All right, well, again, I didn't know I shouldn't do it, so I'm going to test it out and see if it should be done or not. So my dad got smart again. He was like, you know what? You like to, mess with things, fidget with things. I'm going to put you in, the science fair. I built my first electric motor from just like bits and pieces of random stuff. And he was just like, this kid is bright, like almost a genius. Like he's just putting things together. Legos, it started out with that too. I think honestly with my psychiatrist and my therapist, really seeing exactly how I function helped him realize, okay, give him a task, he will complete it,
That's right.
Now, this is a task that I have to be interested in. So you think, what about my student, my child that is in school, they won't complete their homework? Well, we will go into this task and we'll say, we're gonna do this homework. And we'll do a couple of questions and we'll get these questions right. And we'll say to ourselves, my curiosity about me knowing what I'm doing here, it's not here no more. I know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to finish this assignment.
Right.
I just don't have the drive now for it anymore. But this doesn't last. This does not last forever. I have to tell people that because now I'm in my master's program, and I will be up until 5 o'clock to finish a paper that I know will be an A.
Good for you.
Good for you.
I need my beauty rest.
Oh Lord!
Hey, but check this out. I know that I can go to sleep at 5, wake up at 8, without coffee, and be good to go because I have ADHD. I got the hyperactivity. It's just what I am. Okay. Now, when this slows down for me, and I wake up one morning and I'm like, I cannot do it. I am waiting for my second win and it doesn't kick in, I'm gonna know like, hey, it caught up to me. But as I know right now that I have this energy, I have this drive, I mean, my kid's gonna love me. I'm gonna come home from work and he's gonna want to do something, and I'll be like, I'm right there with you, man. Right. Whatever it is, it don't matter.
Isn't that
so, Marty? Go ahead.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So what I was going to say, and John, let me tell you, brother, you are fire, brother. We're going to talk backstage after this. For those who are watching, ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity.
Thank you.
Hyperactivity disorder. Implications for our educators that are on. We talked about accommodations earlier, right? Implications for our educators. When you know that your kid is busy moving around, give them tasks to do.
Come on, teacher.
Challenge that energy so they can stay focused on what it is that you really want them to do, which is what? Complete the assignment. There are some students that don't do well with paper and pencil tests.
Right.
Accommodation number 2. Give them a project that would allow them to move and use their hands and their body so they can do what? Get the assignment done. That does not mean that you are not educating them. You are allowing them to use their creativity, as the word that I just heard, to get what we want done. The problem is we're stuck in what we want our students to do, but we're not willing to accept them where they are. John, you are on fire tonight, brother.
Yes. And Dwayne, I want you to speak to that because I know he spoke so many truths, especially in the school system, but so many of these things can be transferred, transferable skills into the home.
Tonight.
As at home tonight as well. So what do you tell the parents that may have ADHD kids with that and they think it is a negativity? What, baby, get them to sweeping around. How many sweeps will it take you to clean the house? How many vacuums will it take to make it clean? But what do you tell these parents with that as well?
You got to tell them to pay attention to their child.
Mm-hmm.
Just like John stated that his father found out what made him tick. He liked to complete tasks.
Yes.
You will know what your child is into, but you have to pay attention. That's the work that I'll ask you to do. On our front, we will see what they will pay attention to in school, what subject they're into, what of the multiple intelligences we can use to measure if they're grasping a concept, because there's those different things besides paper and pencil, as you mentioned, that we get to measure if a child understands the concept.
Yep.
But the thing of it is, those relationships, it goes back to relationships. I know that John likes puzzles, so I'm going to make sure that John will have his puzzle.
Come on and talk to us.
I know that John likes to be a leader. I have a child who has ADHD, but if you tell him, I need you to lead the group to finish this problem, he will lead that group and finish the problem.
Accommodations.
You will make those accommodations. You will see where they shine and where they falter. And it's going to be a trial and error thing, but it takes an operative word, patience. You have to,
yes, sir.
And you have to just stay day by day, and they're gonna work with you. If they see you working with you, they're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna work with you, but because you're working with me. And if they see that you got that patience, you're gonna come to a happy medium.
Dwayne, since you're already on the screen, I was gonna say, can you read Toby's comment about the accommodations that they made for the pencil sharpener?
Oh, I have to say one other one.
There we go.
I had a kid that ran to the pencil sharpener frequently during class. The teachers were frustrated. We put accommodations at the table, including a pencil sharpener, and he is happy as he can be sharpening and resharpening pencils. Ha ha.
But simple as that.
Simple.
Yeah.
As simple as that, but you know something? He finds something comforting. Is it the sound? Something comforting. One of his senses. That pencil sharpener is really comforting to him.
Yeah, it is.
I had a child that wanted to have a Super Mario Brothers toy to hug. If he was able to hug Mario, he was able to do his work.
Right. I love it. Let him hug Mario all day long.
It's a sensory, right.
Yeah.
It's a sensory thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So you know what?
John changed his flow.
Go ahead, John.
I got hot in that onesie, man.
Wait. How you do a costume change in the middle of set?
Right. Hello, Marty. Take my head off.
Check this out. there's a running pattern that we are mentioning in all of our statements here, and it goes back to being a part-time parent or a full-time parent. Now, when I say part-time parent, you could automatically say, I'm not a part-time parent. I'm always there for my kids. Well, guess what? When your kids were in school, they went to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You didn't have to deal with them for an allotted amount of time.
Right.
So therefore, although I'm saying you were a part-time parent, I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I'm just saying there's a lot of times where you did not have to parent because someone else was doing that for you. Someone else was educating your kid. Someone else was dealing with your kid who wouldn't sit still, in the chair. Okay, and now you are having to be the full-time parent, taking on the responsibility of also being that teacher for your child. And the culture shock. It's a culture shock for everybody. It's a culture shock for the child. It's a culture shock for the parents. This is what 2020 is teaching us. Okay, so you take something from this. I always like to say positivity. Positive. I focus on positivity. Yes, COVID is a negative thing, but now parents can learn more about their child because their child is right there with them.
Come on, the way of
Okay?
Jay.
Now
John drops it and then moves. He don't give us time to process. You're gonna be like, wait a minute.
But think about it. Now that your child is there, you're seeing your child being very just active. You're like, I know I see this on a weekend, but this is a daily thing. So how am I going to work with this daily? Okay?
Right.
I know for me, if my son was having a hard time sitting at the table, I'd be like, man, let's go to the park real quick and let's get the hotspot if you got it. Everything is mobile now. Everybody's got them unlimited data plans. You better get on it.
But
Even
John,
the Obama phone does.
The thing is this. You brought up a very interesting thing. The one comment we always used to hear from a lot of parents was, my child doesn't do this at home. How's that working for you now?
It's
so they're
not.
learning. You're learning, parents. You are learning now. And it's not to say that you aren't doing this right. There's just so much time that you didn't have to do something.
Right.
And now you're learning, I got to do something. Okay. So now is the time to take it all in. Because, hey, let's say 2021, everything gets back to normal. Do you want to forget what you have learned now?
Come,
no.
You don't want to unlearn. That's it. That's it.
John.
And do you want to come out of 2020 not learning something?
Marty.
Okay, listen. We will go all night. Listen, we gotta have a part two. We're gonna have what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring Alana on. We're gonna bring all this back on because we need to have a series dealing with how to deal with children who have ADHD, and his ADHD is a superpower. And let's not misdiagnose them as conduct disorder. Let's not misdiagnose them as oppositional defiance disorder. But let's really empower them. Go ahead, Dwayne. I got you. I hear you. I see you.
No, but I'm just saying, if you're going to add the ADHD, students with ADHD, we also need to add the students who are on the autism spectrum as well.
Most definitely. I hear you.
A lot of those traits that you see in the ADHD kids, you see in the autism spectrum kids as well.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. So let's create a series in January and February that we can do something like that, and we're going to brainstorm and do that. Listen, if this has helped you tonight, please let us know, because Alana, we're going to have you on because we need to help and equip our parents with the necessary tools that they need to be successful. We don't want you to, as I always say, suffer in silence in the shadow of shame. But now that you have spoken up, you speak up, speak out, and live. And definitely, Elizabeth, you're going to be on here. We're going to just bring up all these powerful educators.
Everybody.
Toby, I'm going to get you on here, and we are going to make this happen because we want to empower people. Yo, I see a webinar coming on. I see it. I see a webinar. So this is just the beginning. And webinars, Mental Health Matters with Marty webinars are not free, but we got to put something in the pockets of these people who are coming on here.
Right.
We can't keep giving everything away with it. This ain't a part of the stimulus package.
Right. And there is limitless possibilities. We ain't
Right. We're doing this. So before we leave, thank you, Justin. We always got to leave with this. Cynthia, how can our listeners get a hold of you, and what do you would like to share with them in closing remarks?
Oh, wow. I guess at some point in time in the near future, I'll create some type of social media page.
Please.
I don't have one. But what I want to say is, yes, John, thank you so much. As a mom who raised a son with ADHD, and Marty knows I had a wonderful time raising him. Making adjustments as parents, we have to make adjustments. So what I want to leave with everybody is it's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to not know what to do. We are human. We're parents. Kids don't come with a handbook. We do the best we can with what we've got, but being able to make adjustments, tell your kids when you do something wrong, identify when you don't have knowledge in an area, so that way you're not making your child feel like they're inadequate. We all have to learn to be a little bit more self-sufficient, however, as the parents and with these children, with these challenges. I shouldn't have said special needs. So with these children, with these challenges, I have a bit of ADHD, so I know my son got it from me. So I have to work with him as he has to work within himself. So we just have to be open to making adjustments and being okay with being uncomfortable, in stuff that we don't know about, and being okay to verbalize it and saying, I don't know, but I'm going to try to help you figure it out.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Good.
Cynthia, thank you so much.
You're
we
welcome.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Definitely. This won't be the last time. You'll be back. Definitely. John, what do you want to conclude, and how can our listeners get a hold of you?
Yo, if you want to get a hold of me, go to Instagram right now. All right, you're already on your laptop, you're already on your phone. Go to Instagram right now and type into the search bar The Way of Jay, with 2 Y's at Way and 2 Y's at Jay. Now, this is your morning motivation, your morning content. I am waking you up to put you in a good mood, and hopefully I'm speaking to you on that day. But if not, I got videos on videos, so please go ahead and check it out. Something's going to speak to you. Look at the caption and see if it's for the right one for you. All my videos start out the same way, and it goes like, yo, good morning, everybody. I hope you're waking up today with a good mood, great attitude, and positivity on your mind. Yo, check this out. And then I just go into the positive message, and we always end with stay lit, fam, and go get it. Why? Because if you're staying lit, you're enjoying life, you're happy, you're content, and if you go get it, you will continue to be happy, be content, and enjoy life. And I'm always speaking of positivity. If you bring something negative to me, I will flip it into positive, because I can do that. I'm your guy for positivity, so please stay positive.
Mr.
As we
Positive.
This.
Yes,
I love it.
yes.
That's your new name, Mr. Positive.
We need positivity in the midst
We
of this pandemic. Dwayne, how do we get a hold of you?
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. John is hard to follow.
Right. 80.
I'm really on it. Twitter. Oh yeah, because that's hard to do. But
And what would you like to tell the people to wish them?
Dwayne Edwards. Dwayne Edwards is my handle.
Okay.
Dwayne Edwards is on Facebook. That's it. But what I would just like to tell people is that make sure that you come out of this better than you came into it. Make sure, even if that's just knowing your child's superpower.
Yeah.
Knowing something creative about your child more than you knew before, because you're spending that time. Be accepting of some things that you know about your child, and look at ways that you can improve, and have patience. That patience is going to get us a long, long way. Hopefully we can get back to bricks and mortar soon, but we need to have patience with our teachers who are really trying.
Yes.
We need to have patience with our technology. We need to have patience with a lot of things. So just let's practice patience moving forward, because we've been doing okay so far, hopefully. I think that we can get through this.
Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate you.
That's awesome.
Thomas.
What can I say? Cynthia, Dwayne, I know that you all can attest to this, and you as well as Marty. What John just illustrated is an intervention that you can challenge during ADHD. He's taken his talents and something that people would see as an imperfection. He's taken that and he's doing something with it. Follow that brother on Instagram. Follow that brother on Instagram. Support him. This is a live and a living color way to keep life moving, and he's not allowing what others say that it's a little blemish. He's not allowing that to disturb him. Follow this brother on Instagram. Please follow him. And all I just want to say, this has been a great series. I appreciate everyone for watching. Marty appreciates everyone for watching. We can't do this without your comments. Your comments was on fire tonight.
Yes.
Marty is tired of all those comments, but he did a fantastic job. And I want to shout out this panelist because all of you all were phenomenal. So thank you so much. And those are my ways that you can find me. Thank you, brother.
We got you. As always, we want to encourage you during this time. And you could have listened to so many other Facebook Live shows because there are a ton of them out there. But before we leave, I just want to leave you with these few tips on how to parent and prepare your kids for COVID Christmas 2020. Number one, talk it out. That's all we've been saying all night. Talk it out. Our children are vigilant. They are definitely resilient. Talk it out. Have the conversation with them. The second thing we want to encourage you to do, focus on what you can do. That's all John was saying. He says, listen, I refuse to take the negativity in life. We are going to focus on the positive because what you feed is what will grow. Number three, we want you to create new traditions. Now's the time to create new traditions. Listen, tough times bring out vigilant and bring out creative ideas. Create new traditions that will help you to embrace this COVID Christmas 2020. Number four, take the opportunity to scale down. We all have to scale down. Everything, you don't have to buy that new PlayStation as bad as you want it. Is it life or death? No. If it's not going to put you in any type of debt, then maybe you get it. But if it is, don't take the chance. Take this opportunity to scale back. And number five, let's be realistic about what we can do. Just because Christmas is on hold doesn't mean it's denied. We want you to live to see another year. Please join us each week and join us tomorrow as we will be back here for day 8. I believe it is day 8 or day 9, one of the two, on Mental Health Matters with Marty, the 12 Days of Christmas Mental Health Edition. As always, we want you to speak up, speak out, and live. See you tomorrow evening.